Hey everyone, welcome back to My Codes. In this video, we are going to talk about interpolation searching algorithm. Well, this algorithm is used to search an element inside a list in the minimum possible time. So let's see how you can use this algorithm in order to find the particular solution. But before that, I want to talk about what you need to do in this particular question. Over here you can see I have a list with several elements named as array. Okay, so this is how you create a list in Python. You use this kind of a brackets and you pass the elements inside that brackets. After that, I have a key over here with value 7 and I have to check whether this 7 is present inside my list or not. It's very simple. The question is very simple and I hope you know the basics of Python, and by using the basics of Python you can easily find the solution. And the solution is for I in range, you have to use a for loop and then you have to pass the length of array inside this for loop. After doing this thing, you have to use the if statement, if, and then you have to just say that key is equals to array of I, and if this condition is true, you will be just simply printing the value of I, that is the index value of this particular key. Okay, and after that I'm just going to break this for loop. I'm going to come out, and for the else part, when this for loop is not going to work, or I can say specifically this if statement is not going to work, I'm going to pass this else statement. So this is the for else loop, for else statement. I hope you understand what is for else. In for else, if nothing will be working inside this for loop, then I will simply print this else part. Okay, in else part I'm going to say that element not found. Okay, so I'm simply going to write this thing over here and then I'm going to run this code. As soon as I run this code, you can see I'm getting the output as 2. That means the index of 7 will be 2 in this particular array. Let me check this thing. This is 0, this is 1, and yes, 7 is 2. Okay, that means this program is actually correct. Now let me try to add 0 over here. Let's see 70 is present in this list or not. And yes, element is not found. That means 70 is not present, guys. But over here, if I search for 70, then how this code is going to work? This code is going to check for every possible value in this array with this key over here. Let's say initially this 70 will be compared with 2, and yes, 70 is not equal to 2, so I'm going to check for 5, then I'm going to compare with 7, then I'm going to compare with 8, and likewise I'm going to compare till 26. But you can notice one thing over here, this array is actually sorted. So do I actually need to compare with each and every element to find the particular solution, or I have a better idea? So guys, that's what we are going to discuss in this video, a better idea. So there are two ways. First one is binary search, in which the time complexity will be order of log n, and the next method is interpolation search, in which the order of log n will be the time complexity. So in this general case, you use a for loop, so the time complexity will be order of n. So over here, I'm just going to write a small thing that order of n is actually greater than order of log n, and this is actually greater than order of log n. Okay, that means you have actually order of n for this particular case, you have this time complexity for this particular case. Let me just rewrite this thing. You have this time complexity for this particular case, that is binary search, and you have this log n for this interpolation search method. So let's see how this method is going to work. It's very simple. There is nothing like a complex code in this. So I'm just going to erase this part from here. I'm simply going to just come down and make this as my driver code. I'm going to create a function over here. Let's say def and interpolation. Inside this function, I'm going to pass two parameters. Let's say array and key. Okay, and I'm going to just pass this parameters over here as well, array comma key. So I have passed two parameters in this particular function, and over here I'm just going to come down and I'm going to just assign two variables. Now guys, just try to understand what I'm doing. It's very simple to understand. It's very simple to visualize actually. Over here you can see I have this 2 which is at index 0. That means my lower value will be at index 0. In the similar way, my higher value, another variable like higher, HIGH, that is high, will be at the index value. You can clearly see 26 is at the index value 6. But how can I write 6 over here? There should be a way, and the way is you have to just say length of a minus 1. Now see, length of a will give you the length of this particular array, and you can see array is of length 7. minus 1 will be 6, and that is the index value for 26. Okay, so this is how you can just write low and high. This will be your pointers. If you don't know about pointers, just leave it for now. Just focus on this low and high. Okay, I have two variables, low and high. Initially low is 0 and high is length of a minus 1. After that, I'm going to write a while loop. You can also write for loop, but I'm going to go with while loop. And in this while loop, I'm going to add two conditions. The number one condition is going to be a of high should never be equal to a of low. And that's pretty much easy to understand. After that, I'm going to add one more condition over here, that is a of low should be less than or equal to k. That means the key. Don't worry, I'm going to explain each and every line that I'm writing right now. Just give me some time. Let me first write this, then I will explain you how these things are going to work. Okay, so here you can see the first thing is a of high. That means, let's say this one is a of high and this one is a of low. Should not be equal, because if these values are going to be equal, that means I have only one element inside the array. And if I have only one element inside the array, that means that's not the array or a list. That's a single variable, single valued variable. Okay, so for a single value we are not going to check. So I'm just simply going to say if a of high is not should be not equal to a of low. Okay, because if both values are going to be equal, that means this should be not an array. Okay, so if I can write 2 over here, then I can't write 2 over here. The reason is very simple, guys. See, this array is actually in ascending order, so I can't write 2 over here. If I want to write 2, I will be writing at the starting only. Okay, so this will be 26 only, and let me just put a space over here. And after this thing over here, I'm just going to say that for this part, okay, so this is a of low. So what is a of low? A of low is going to be 2 should be actually less than k. Because see, guys, if you want to search for an element, let's say 1, I want to search for 1. So see, 1 is actually less than 2, k is less than a of low. If this is true, that means there should be no element present inside this entire list which is actually equal to 1. Because see, 2 is greater than 1, the initial value is actually greater than 1. So that means entire list will be actually greater than this initial value. That means entire value will actually be greater than this key. So we can say that yes, this element is not present inside this list. Okay, so this condition should be actually like, this condition should be like key should be greater than the initial value, and of course key should be less than the final value. So over here you can see that key is less than equal to a of high, because if this value will be greater than 26, let's say 71, so in this case I'm not going to get any value which is actually greater than 26, because 26 is my last value. So all other values before 26 will be actually less than 26, so I can say less than key. Okay, so this is how you can actually understand what's going over here. And after doing this thing, you are inside the while loop. In this while loop, you have to use a mid equal to a variable mid, and you have to just say that low plus key minus a of low. And after doing this thing, you have to actually multiply this with high minus low. It's very easy to understand. I hope you are not actually getting what I'm writing right now, but this statement is all about what you have to do in this particular interpolation search. In that binary search, what you do is you just write mid as mid equal to low plus high by 2. Okay, that's what you do in binary search. I know you add low plus high and then you divide this by 2, but in this case you have to actually write this entire line. Okay, so I hope you understand what's going over here. If you are not able to understand what I'm writing over here, you can simply download the PPT. I'm going to give the link in the description, where you can actually understand you can actually traverse through this entire code. Okay, so you will get a better understanding over there as well. So after writing this thing, you can see that I have written these things over here. Then I'm going to pass 2 slash. See, 1 slash is for division, other slash is to say that the answer of this division will be converted into integer. Okay, so after doing this thing, I'm again going to write a of high minus a of low. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I'm going to just close this thing. Let me just rearrange the brackets, and after doing this thing, you can close this as well. Okay, so this is how you can write this mid. If you are not able to understand this thing for now, then it's totally okay. I will be sharing a PPT with you over there. You can easily understand what's going over here. Okay, so after writing this thing, you have to just simply say that if and then a of mid is equals to k. If this condition is true, that means my middle element will be the key value. Okay, so that means over here the middle element will be not 8. The middle element will be depending on this entire statement over here. Okay, so this will be giving me the middle element. So middle element can be 9, can be 5, can be 11. Okay, according to that I'm going to say that yes, middle element equal to k. If this is the case, then I'm going to simply print that mid. Okay, because I just want the index values. And if this is not the case, then I'm going to just say that if k is greater than middle value a of mid, that means, guys, see over here, let me just write this over here. The k is actually greater than mid. Okay, so k is greater than mid means, suppose my mid is 8. Okay, so k is greater than mid means over here all other elements after the 8 will be the elements that I am going to search for, because before the 8 all the elements are actually smaller than this particular key. So I'm not going to waste my time for searching these elements, comparing with these elements. Okay, so here you can see I'm simply going to just say that my low will be mid plus 1. Okay, and if the last condition will be actually else I'm simply going to say that yes, your k is actually less than mid. Okay, that means the k should be less than this value 8 over here. So I'm going to check for these three values only. So yes, my height will be now mid minus 1. Okay, so high will be mid minus 1 in this case, mid minus 1. Let me just rearrange this thing over here, and after that, yes, I'm pretty much done with this. And yeah, that's all about what you need to do. And after this you have to just come over here and print this thing over here as well. No element found. When you are done with the entire while loop and you are not getting any single element which is equals to k, at that time you are going to print this thing at last. Okay, because eventually you will get any of these conditions true and you will be out of this while loop. Okay, and if you want to see how you will do that, then you can just download the ppt. I'm going to share the link in the description. Okay, so now if I try to run this code, hope for the best, and let me just run this code, and you can see that yeah, element is not found. If I try to change this thing to 7, and in this case I hope I will get 2 as my answer, and you can see I'm getting 2. Let's try for 26, and over here you can see I'm going to get my answer as maybe 6, and yeah, that's 6. Okay, so that's how you can write the code for the interpolation searching algorithm, which is used to get the time complexity of log n, and in binary search you get the time complexity as log of n, and the general method gives you the time complexity of order of n. So I guess this method is actually better, so you can apply this method, and this method can also give you the worst case in which the time complexity will be order of n, but still this method is preferred over binary search and all other searching algorithms. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.